welcome back to Ian's Fish Room. In today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 gift ideas for the aquarist in your life. Now, these gift ideas aren't going to be in particular order, but they will range in from low-end prices to higher-end prices and everything in between. The first idea that I have for a gift list is that of the Fluval Flex. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you guys know that I do enjoy the Fluval Flex aquarium, and I have that as my office aquarium. And if you want to see a real in-depth, detailed review of it, you can check that out here. But the Fluval Flex is a great option as a gift because it's a tank that basically is going to include almost everything you're going to need to get fish. You have the aquarium, you're going to have the pump to run the water, and it's got the filtration all built right into the back of those tanks. And you can get that in a 9-gallon, a 15-gallon, or even up to a 32.5-gallon. So it's great for a lot of different people. It's going to work in a lot of different environments, whether you only have space for a small tank or maybe you want something a little bit bigger, and that 32.5 is going to work out great for you. The second item on my list of gift ideas is a good net. Now, nets are something that aquarists use all the time. And the thing about nets is that we're constantly putting them down somewhere, and you turn around and where did I put my net? Where did it go? And you have to look for it, and maybe you have more than one. And ultimately, as aquarists, we all end up collecting multiple nets over time. But the thing about nets is there's a lot of really kind of cheaply made nets out there that really don't stand up well to, the water that we're using. They rust out really quick, or maybe they're just really flimsy built, and then so you're trying to catch a fish, and maybe you're trying to catch against the glass, and it almost seems like they never want to sit there flat against the glass, and the fish always scurries out. So there are two nets that I absolutely love that I think you guys are really going to like as well. The first net, and I'll put a picture right here, is going to be this small net. Now, the thing I love about this net is it is awesome for baby fry fish or for in any of your nano fish. It works really, really well for those smaller fish. And it's really easy to get into some of those smaller places that they might try to hide in your tank. Now, this particular net comes in both a square and round shape. And personally, I like the square shape better. But that's just me. Maybe you prefer a round shaped net. Either way, I think this is a net that you're going to be very happy with, that you're going to end up finding you use it much more often than you would think for a small net. It is actually the net that I use more often than any of my other nets. Now, this second net here is a bigger net, and it is a really sturdy net. And the thing I love about this net in particular is that it is not made out of metal. And most of the nets on the market have metal that they use, and then that metal rusts, and you're using it and it starts to bend really easy, and it'll break on you, and they just don't last. And this particular net really does a nice job of being able to last a lot longer. It's a lot sturdier than those metal nets that you're used to buying at the fish store. So another great option for you, one that's going to last you a long time that I think you'll be really happy with. The third item on my list is breeder boxes. Now, I know not everybody breeds fish, but I'm going to be honest with you. Even if you don't breed fish, the breeder boxes that I'm going to recommend for you are just fantastic. So I'm going to recommend both the Fluval and the Phoenix breeder boxes. Now, there's lots of different Phoenix ones out there. There's different ones that are Fluval, so make sure you click down in my affiliate links below. But these two are very, very similar as far as their breeder boxes go. And yes, you can use them for breeding fish. But I've also used these ones in particular for acclimating fish. I've used them for aggressive fish. I need to remove them from the tank for a little while. I've used it to help take some of my fry. Maybe I'm growing out some bristlenose fry and I want them to grow out and get a chance to get a little bit bigger before they're in the main tank. And I use it to grow out some of those fry that I have. I really do think that a breeder box is one of those tools that you can have for your aquarium that you can find multiple uses for. Sometimes I use it to collect fish if I'm taking them to the fish store, and I use that as my little hang-on box that they use there at the store. I've got my breeder box, and it works just the same. Sometimes I use it just to hold my nets, because my nets, I've got them, used them, and they're all wet, and then I stick them in there until they dry. So there are so many uses for these breeder boxes, and I highly recommend these two. They're very versatile. The difference between the Fluval and the Phoenix, the Fluval is a little bit cheaper, but the Phoenix comes with a light that you can have on top, and it also comes with a water pump. And those two added features really are a nice little bonus to your breeder boxes. They're not necessary, but I like having them. So check those two out. The fourth thing on my list is a good plant light. Now, all of my tanks have plants growing, and I love having lots of different plants. It really makes fish keeping easy. It really, it's another thing that I turn around and I sell to, help fund my hobby. And so I think plants are fantastic. So these two are plant lights that I really, really like. The first one is the Fluval 3.0. Now, the Fluval 3.0 is a very high quality light, but in comparison to some of those other higher end lights, it's a whole lot cheaper. So I think for the Fluval light, it's your best value at that higher end light. It provides tons of light. So if you have those plants that need a lot of light, the Fluval 3.0 can do it for you. Maybe you're not growing those plants. Maybe you have plants that only need a lower amount of light. Well, the Fluval 3.0 can adjust. You can decrease the amount of light. It has a built-in timer so that it turns on when you want it and turns off when you don't want it. And you can adjust it and make all kinds of changes in it. So your light can come on when you want to wake up and turn off when you want to go to sleep, and you can adjust it any way you want. The second light that I'm going to recommend is the Night Crew RGB Plus. Now, this light is another fantastic light, but it's a much more budget-friendly light. So maybe if you only have a limited budget, this might be the light for you. The thing I love about this light is that you can adjust the light throughout the day, just like the Fluval. Now, this one's not going to adjust quite as much as that Fluval, but it does adjust every 3 hours. And so you can have it as a, first thing in the morning, it starts off lower, and then throughout the day, it gets higher, and then at the end of the day, it gets lower. Now, the last thing on my list is something that maybe if you're shopping for the aquarist who has everything, they've got all the tanks, all the lights, all the goodies. Well, then this last thing is something that I guarantee you that they could always use, and that is high quality fish food. So when it comes to high quality fish food, you really want to look at the ingredients within that fish food. You don't want a lot of binders in there. You're going to have some, but you don't want a lot of those binders. You don't want a lot of ingredients that you can't understand and pronounce. So there are some really good fish foods out there that are high quality, that are going to allow your fish to be healthier, that are going to provide greater color in your fish. And I'm just going to list a whole bunch of them down in the description below. Again, those are affiliate links. If you guys do decide to click on any of those things, it can help us here at Ian's Fish Room to just continue to try to provide more content for you guys and continue to grow our channel and make it better for you. If you guys are interested in seeing some more products, check out my product review list over here.